Welcome to Immigration Quicktake. This is Ellie Rutledge Silver with the American Immigration Lawyers Association. This week, the Senate held confirmation hearings for several presidential appointees, including Senator Jeff Sessions and retired General John Kelly for Attorney General and Secretary of the Department of Homeland Security, respectively. Here to share details of those hearings is Greg Chen, Director of Advocacy at AILA. Greg, thanks for joining us. First, tell us about General Kelly's hearing.
Ellie, I'll start with General Kelly's confirmation hearing, mainly because it was the more straightforward one, because Kelly is just less controversial and has made fewer comments in the public sphere about his views that are known. By and large, he was asked a number of questions about his views on the border. There are some concerns that he might take a militarized approach to the border, and that was expressed. There were also questions asked about how he would respect the boundary between states and localities engaging in federal immigration enforcement actions. By and large, there were not a lot of fireworks that came on in Kelly's hearing, and most expect that he will be confirmed in a fairly straightforward vote.
What was a highlight from Senator Sessions' hearing?
In stark contrast was Senator Sessions' confirmation hearing, which was extremely heated and brought up lots of controversial points. A real highlight was the testimony of the former Dreamer, Oscar Vazquez, who served in the military in Afghanistan and spoke eloquently about his passion for protecting the United States, the country that has raised him. Senator Graham of South Carolina said he wanted to work with Oscar Vazquez to find ways to protect the DACA recipient population, which is why Graham introduced the Bridge Act that AILA also supports that would provide temporary protection to the DACA eligible population. Senator Tom Tillis of North Carolina also said he would like to find a way to address immigration reform and hopes that Congress will tackle it this year. That stands in stark contrast to Senator Sessions' own positions on immigration reform, where he has by and large rejected every major immigration reform proposal that's come up before Congress and offered no solution for the population that is here that does not have legal status. And Oscar Vazquez himself asked Sessions that question rhetorically: what is his solution if he only wants to deport those who are undocumented, including the DACA population?
What else was covered during Senator Sessions' hearing?
Throughout Senator Sessions' 10 hours on the witness stand testifying, he kept repeating the refrain that he will enforce the law, even if it's not exactly consistent with his own personal views. Now, the real question that all of our members and the American public should be asking is, can we believe that he will actually enforce the law when he has made such forceful statements indicating that he does not fundamentally believe in some of the fundamental tenets of, let's say, the Constitution? So he was asked his views about birthright citizenship, which he has said in the past he opposes birthright citizenship, despite the fact that the 14th Amendment was specifically included to protect that right of everybody born in the United States to be a U.S. citizen. When he was asked that, he said he would follow the Constitution and that it's up to Congress to change it. Well, do we believe that when he has spoken so forcefully that he would automatically change those views? Another controversial topic is whether or not he would protect people of the Muslim faith and all religious minorities, which is the duty of the Department of Justice and its Civil Rights Division. He claimed that he would. He also claimed that he would not support a ban on Muslims. And yet, in his record, he has called Islam a toxic ideology. He's referred to the faith, that entire faith, in such gross, ignorant terms. Can we believe that as Attorney General, whose responsibility is to enforce civil rights laws and protect everybody without regard to their faith from abuses by local governments, local police who might discriminate against people of particular faith or harass them, or from harassment, hate, violence from the community? The last issue that I'll mention is Senator Sessions' views about the role of states and localities in enforcing immigration law. And he's introduced countless bills that would require, and in fact, not only authorize, but mandate states and localities to engage in federal immigration enforcement in such an aggressive way that it's clear that he would allow and probably not enforce civil rights laws against rogue sheriffs like Joe Arpaio from Arizona. When Sessions was asked during his testimony whether or not he would enforce consent decrees brought by the Department of Justice against these localities, what he said was very carefully worded. He said he would enforce them as long as they're in effect. But then he said those kinds of lawsuits, meaning lawsuits brought by the Department of Justice, civil rights laws enforcement, that those lawsuits undermine local law enforcement and also help decrease morale in local law enforcement. That does not sound to me like somebody who is going to rigorously enforce civil rights laws against somebody like Sheriff Joe Arpaio. So the question is, do we believe that Senator Sessions will do what he said in testimony, or what he has done and said over many, many years in the Senate and as a prosecutor? For that reason, AILA continues to have its Take Action alert up on our website. We hope you'll take a look at it, that asks senators to keep asking these important questions of Mr. Sessions before he is confirmed.
Thanks, Greg, for joining me. For the rest of you, please stay tuned for more updates from the American Immigration Lawyers Association.